WIOD. I'm Andrew Colton. Everybody's still talking about what the Colorado Supreme Court did. Other states may also try to remove Donald Trump from the ballot. So what's the big picture here? Connor Vasile is a political strategist and joining us with his thoughts on a potential push by California to do this. Connor, what's the thinking this morning? What are you thinking as you look at this? Connor, you there?
Hello.
All right, we're going to reconnect with you are you there, Connor?
Yes, I can hear you now.
There we go. Perfect. All right. Gremlins in the system. It happens from time to time. What are your thoughts this morning on the push by California, at least talking about taking a similar move to what Colorado did?
Well, thank you for having me this morning. Yes, so the Lieutenant Governor of California, Lenny Quinolacus, she has her sights running for the governorship in California in 2026. So this is blatantly just a political move to try to get the Republican frontrunner out of the race to get her some brownie points. She had a letter to her Secretary of State, actually, saying how this decision is about honoring the rule of law in our country and protecting the fundamental pillars of democracy, which is, as we all well know, is a complete joke at this point. I mean, Donald Trump is, I guess you could call him the Teflon Don, where, nothing sticks to him and his popularity is just rising. But that, I think, is just reflective of the climate of our country right now, where people are just sick and tired of this two-tier justice system we have.
So I'll let you get away with that for one moment. I will be a journalist in a second and try to ask you another question on that. But that being said, when you look at all the states, and there are going to be others, there's talk this morning of Michigan perhaps also trying to follow suit. Without getting into the discussion or the controversy as to whether the Constitution as written really does ban Donald Trump from being on the ballots, does it not seem to just play into the narrative that any election is what I'm trying to say moving forward is illegitimate if we are telling people who can and can't be on the ballot instead of just letting the people decide?
Of course, this is a horrible precedent. I mean, if we let this go through, we're going to see examples of, well, we're just seeing it right now, other states trying to get him off the ballot. And it sets a really horrible precedent in the sense that we're not allowing the people to vote for the people that they think best represent their interests. And, in a functioning democracy, you need to have choice. So any sort of justification or reason to get anyone off the ballot, unless there is a very clear-cut reason as to why, is just going to hurt us in the end. This is very concerning, to say the least.
All right, so flip it around to the other side. We elect people and they make the laws, police, law enforcement enforce the laws. It's not as if somebody gets arrested for murder or some sort of crime and it goes to everybody just in general and says, all right, millions of people, you need to vote on, as to whether or not this person should be prosecuted or not. Is it up to the general population to decide whether someone should be allowed to run or not, or should it be exactly the way that it is? It goes to a court, and the court says yes, the court says no, the court interprets the Constitution like so many other courts do, and it goes from there. How do you square up those two?
I mean, from what I've been seeing in the media and all the protests, I mean, everything is for the function of preserving our democracy. So if they really want to put their money where their mouth is and preserve the pure form of democratic representation that they purportedly want, then they should let the people decide, regardless of who the representative is, if he's problematic or there's some illegality going along. But in terms of the checks and balances we have in our system, we can definitely go that way. But then obviously you have conflicts of personal bias and political leanings that may, corrupt the system over time. So it's a fine wire game, so to speak, of deciding who can actually run versus do we really want this idea of a pure democratic system? Then we need to allow for everyone, even Donald Trump.
Connor, well said. I appreciate it. I appreciate the insight. I know a lot of folks have a lot of opinions on it, but we certainly appreciate yours this morning. Have a happy holiday. We'll talk to you again. Connor Vasile, political strategist, joining us.